When we last observed our builder, the screen had lit up for the first time and fittingly fanned the pip-boy flame in her heart. Getting the display working was regarded as a meaningful achievement, as it was the culmination of several weeks of research, troubleshooting, wiring diagrams, library installations, and occasional negotiations with components that appeared unwilling to participate in the project. And her next mountain to conquer was touch input. In preparation for what was expected to be a lengthy discussion with the hardware, a breadboard was brought into service. The touch and display here share a couple of SPI lines, and the breadboard will serve to temporarily split the communication lines as our builder remains in prototype phase. No one involved expected this to be simple, least of all our builder. And so additional wiring was prepared. Libraries were gathered, and attention turned to an XPT-2046 touch controller that had thus far remained largely uninvolved in the proceedings. The challenge now was convincing that controller, an ESP32, and an already functioning display to share the same SPI connection without any of them abruptly deciding they no longer wished to cooperate. It was, on paper, entirely possible. Many had done it before the internet assured her of this repeatedly. And so work began on transforming a screen that merely displayed information into one capable of responding to human interaction. At the time, our builder understood the task ahead would be difficult. What she did not yet understand was precisely which parts would be difficult, nor how many entirely new questions would emerge the moment the old questions were answered.
Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering why I'm holding two homemade male-to-female jumper cables. Well, that's because the realization's just kicked in that I've only needed female-to-female wires this whole time, and my breadboard requires male ones. Some background, I last used the breadboard during a programming certification. I'd only bought male-to-male wires, I'm not sure why, but an assignment required male-to-female wires. So I performed surgery with some jewelry cutters, I believe, to make one end as female as I possibly could, and it totally worked for that, so I hope it'll work for this too. At least I think it worked for that. Honestly, I don't know now. I kind of think I would have thrown them away had it not, but whatever. I've already sunk so much money into this project, so I'm really trying to use what I have if I have it, but man, I don't know if I'll be able to trust my tests. As I'm about to show you, this orange one here is my hacked end, and not hacked on a computer. I mean hacking away with jewelry snips. I notice here that the plastic housings are different lengths. The old ones are taller. Does plastic looseness matter much electrically? I feel like it's more so the metal contact, but it's clear to me that the exposed metal is also inconsistent. I'm gonna keep it real. I recorded this a month ago, so I'm not even sure what I'm realizing at that point, but I know right here I'm going on Amazon and I'm instantly ordering male to female jumpers. I'm pretty sure it was this housing just coming full on off that made me pause and do that.
Wait.
Okay, so I literally took a break. I ordered some other things I might need, and I was like, I'll just buy some male to female jumper wires because I only have male to male and I only have female to female. And then I was like, can I do this?
Yes, you're very smart. Shut up.
I do think if the connection is connecty enough, I should be able to do this, but I'm gonna look some stuff up and see first, I guess.
Like the good little toaster I am, I immediately got to work making these beautiful pieced together ones. I wanted to do two new colors. I wanted to do purple and gray, or maybe I hadn't done gray. I already did a purple, but I really liked the purple, or maybe I was replacing purple. I don't know. As you can tell, I take my colors kind of seriously. But at the end of the day, aren't these just modular little connectors? Albeit with the potential to be a little janky, because the connection point is going to be weaker mechanically than a real cable. So I'll have to be careful to avoid tension, and with that, I'm going to use some nice electrical tape in the middle to hold the connection snugly. Nice rolling skills, I know. It was 7 p.m. at this point, but I had it in me to push a little bit longer, so I got to work on these changes. This is me doing my first one and connecting it to the breadboard. As some of my wires are a bit short, I did have to move some things around, but I quickly got in the flow. I even started working 1,000% faster. It was fantastic. That said, it still did take a little while, but obviously this is gonna work. This is going to be the fix, so all the connecting and the taping and securing won't be for naught, right? Right, guys? I will use this moment to let you know that, yeah, if I sound sick, it's because I kind of am, or like I was last week, and then now I'm pretty sure I have a sinus infection. So, yeah, if you were sick and then you got better, but then your head kind of hurts when you blow your nose, it feels like your brains might come out, and then also your upper teeth kind of hurt because apparently the pressure of your infected sinuses on them makes your teeth hurt when you move your head around. You might have a sinus infection. Not confirmed, but it does seem to be on par for the course. And here I am finishing up all of my connections, making things as good as new or hopefully better than new. I got a nice little overview. Obviously, I'm very proud of my work here. You can see all the different pieces. I kind of don't really like the space that those have, but they do feel well seated. So at that point, I wasn't really concerned about that. After plugging in the controller, the screen came on, so I was like, yeah, let's get touch working, baby. But as I'm sure you can tell, this was quickly becoming really difficult for me to manage, like physically. So I made this little platform using electrical tape and also my box and another box and blah, 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 blah. Now, back into Arduino IDE. I had used the Adafruit library for my display, but I think I should be able to work with XPT 2046 touchscreen as most ILI 9341 touch displays use it. Originally, the display only needed MOSI and clock because it was basically acting like a tiny monitor. Once I started working with touch input, I needed MISO as well because now the touchscreen had to send coordinate data back to the ESP. I also added a separate chip select pin for the touch controller so the display and touchscreen could share the same SPI bus without taking over each other. And then I experimented with IRQ, which is optional. It's an interrupt line that can signal when the screen is being touched, but I remove it here, I believe, because I was getting like an error or something. I don't know. I'm so sorry. I filmed this a month ago. But yeah, Pip-Boy touch test ready. Let's see what happens here. I didn't really realize up until this point, like this screen is kind of on, like you have to press down on it. It's not like your phone screen where it just senses the lightest of touches. It kind of presses in a little bit, but it wasn't working because I had no coordinates, nothing showing up on my serial monitor. So I changed something else clearly. And I go and do it again. And then here, yes, I switched the order of some things. I read that maybe putting this before this might do something. I don't know. I don't do this kind of code. My cert was with Python, man. I did also figure out at this point a great way to have the screen and the screen, you know what I'm saying, show at the same time, but that way you guys can see what's happening when I press. So on the bottom left of my computer, like the screen, the terminal there, the serial monitor, there should be coordinates popping up wherever I am touching the screen for the Pip-Boy. But it's like, I don't know what's wrong. Is it the code, or is it that were everything connected properly, raw values would be appearing, you know? Like, is it the homemade cables? What is it? I was so tired at this point, and I reconsidered how having the proper male to female cables could truly be the fix. So I made the decision to close her down for the night, which wasn't easily made because in 5 days, I was about to go leave and visit my boyfriend in Colorado for 2 weeks. So, you know, that was kind of accepting that like this portion, this touch portion, was not gonna get finished before I left. Sag. So I decided I would bang the bell to clear the air. And I was immediately attacked by this bug. You can see me freak out, and then there it is on the ground. I did not squish it, but I wanted to. I guess this is part 3. I don't know if this is part 3, part 1, or like just part 3 if the next part will be part 4. IDK. I just wanted to get this up and posted because I have the whole other part of this where I may or may not actually get the touch working. So stay tuned. I don't want to set the world on fire. I just want to start a flame in your heart.